All right, Daytona Beach, put your hands together for Chris Evans.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Evans, and I'll be talking to each and every single one of you about the mentoring effect. Imagine this, being a single mother working day in and day out to make ends meet for her 3 boys. Or imagine being one of those 3 boys that's witnessing his mother practically kill herself to provide. See, that's what it was like for my family and I growing up. I grew up what is formerly known to all of you as the Daytona Beach Gardens. But for me, someone that lived there, we would call it Soul City. And Soul City, for me, was an absolute nightmare. Soul City was and still is a crime-infested place. And as a youth, I witnessed a lot of things that I shouldn't have realized at such a young age. For example, I've witnessed assaults, robberies, carjackings, practically any and everything that you can imagine besides someone actually being murdered. And you would think, witnessing all those things, that it would impact myself and my peers mentally. However, it didn't, because it happened on an everyday basis. And as I was growing up in this particular environment, I made 2 personal goals for myself. One was to beat the odds, and the other was to make it out of poverty. However, I did not know exactly how I could do that. But fortunately for me, I had a vision. Going into my 3rd grade year, the Daytona Beach West Rotarians decided to invest in my 3rd grade class. And I was appointed a mentor. And my mentor, he honestly took on the role for my father. We would meet weekly, and he would talk to me about the importance of having an education and graduating college. And he would just provide me with everything that I needed to be successful. And he would encourage me, but most importantly, he would listen to what I had to say. And these group of Rotarians continued to follow us. And going into my 9th grade year, they paid for 9 $10,000 scholarships through Take Stock in Children. And with this scholarship, you had to stay drug, crime, and alcohol free and maintain a GPA of a 3.0 or higher. And for your average child, that would sound like something easy to do, but for me it wasn't, because of this harsh environment that I grew up in. But fortunately for me, while having this scholarship, I was appointed 2 mentors through Take Stock in Children. And my mentors, they were and they still are, a huge blessing in my life. We would meet weekly, as I did with my other mentor, and they would just talk to me about the importance of having an education. They would provide me with everything that I needed to be successful. And sometimes growing up in this harsh environment, I would hang out with the wrong people, or I would get off track, but they would reach out to me and pull me back up and get me right on track to accomplish my goals. And before I knew it, I ended up moving in with them, and I saw myself putting my past behind me. It was amazing. I saw the light. And on May 7th, 2016, I did it. I was the first of my siblings to graduate college. And upon completion of, college, I made a vow to myself to give everyone a return on their investment that invested in me. And so I decided to start mentoring at my old elementary school, in which I was once a mentee, and I wanted to pay it forward. And I still am mentoring this young boy by the name of Daryl. And Daryl, just as myself when I was his age, he just needed someone to talk to him and encourage him to make the right decisions and do the right things, and to show him that he can make it out of that particular environment. And while mentoring Daryl, it raised a lot of awareness for me. I witnessed it's not only Daryl, but there's a lot of other young men and young women at this particular school that need someone, to mentor them. But not only that, these young individuals, they not only needed someone to mentor them, they needed someone to provide them with the proper guidance and to basically take on the role for their parents, because just as Daryl, his mother, she's working hard. She's not really there encouraging, talking to him and telling him the things that needs to be said. And with me sharing that brief story of my life with you all, I hope it inspired each and every single one of you to mentor if you aren't mentoring. And if you are mentoring, to continue to mentor and give yourself a pat on the back. And I like to call mentoring the gift that keeps on giving. Because if you think about it, if you mentor a child that's less fortunate, that child, once they land on their own 2 feet, they will mentor another child, and it's like a domino effect in a cycle that's everlasting, a cycle that keeps going. So I challenge each and every single one of you right here, right now, to mentor if you aren't, And if you are mentoring, continue to mentor, because I'm a perfect example of the impact that you can have on a child's life. And with that being said, thank you to the Leadership Daytona alumni. Thank you to the Daytona Beach West Rotary Group. Thank you to Elevate Daytona. And thank you to Take Stock in Children. And most importantly, thank you to these people that's portrayed on this next slide. Bill Griffin, Francis and Gloria Marquette, and Cynthia Ramirez, because if it wasn't for each and every single one of you, I wouldn't be standing here today. Thank you all and have a great night.
Woo!